to have an undefeated season. It is hard. It's hard to win games in any conference. It's hard to win games repeatedly, and he had a perfect season and won every game. That's really hard to do. So a lot of kudos and congrats to he and his staff and his team and his players with all they've overcome and the team he's assembled. This should be a great matchup. Two giants in college football across history and recently. And I always worry about when you get in bowl games of the matchups you get to have. So this matchup is really exciting. And I know our players are pumped and excited when they found out today who we get to play. And the Orange Bowl is one of the best bowls we've ever been to in terms of the sunshine and the beach and getting to enjoy it and being in sunny South Florida. So major congratulations to FSU and Coach Norvell and his staff, but also to the Orange Bowl committee and the people that host the Orange Bowl. Our players are looking very forward to it.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Coach Smart. Now let's pass it over to Coach Norvell to open it up with some remarks, and then we'll open it up to everyone for both questions. So Coach Norvell, we'll throw it over to you. Thank you.
Yeah, us today's been an emotional day. You're coming off of last night. Just so proud of our team. Finishing up undefeated season, ACC champions. Absolutely respect the opportunity that's here at the Orange Bowl, and there's such a great history with Florida State and the Orange Bowl, and to be able to get matched up against the best team in college football over the last 3 years. And you look at Coach Smart and the job they've done. This is a special team that we're going to go against. Obviously, last night did not go how they wanted, but this is a team that's really set the standard over the last few years, and the work that's gone in. I've got a lot of respect for Coach Smart. Over the way that he operates a program, the consistency that they've shown, and to be able to match up with them in what I believe is two of the best teams in all of college football here this year. It's really going to be a special matchup. I know our players, they're disappointed. You'll hear today with the news of not getting a chance to compete for a national championship, but we've had a team that's responded throughout the course of the year, and they responded to adversity. They've had to fight through. They've had to overcome. I believe in the heart and the character of this team, and I know that they will respond once again. And it's going to take a tremendous effort on our part, but I know we're excited for the opportunity to be a part of this tremendous game with all the historical value that comes to it, and just to be able to play against such an outstanding opponent in Georgia, and it's going to be one that the fan bases are going to be excited about. Be able to be here in our home state, to be down in Miami, to get a chance to compete, once again for this team to showcase their identity and who we are and what we're truly aspiring to be. I'm just grateful for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Coach. We will now open it up for questions for both coaches. To ask a question, please click on the raise hand function on your Zoom screen. We'll go through and get through as many questions as possible. Once called upon, you'll have to please unmute yourself, state your name and your affiliation before asking your question, and we will kick it off with Andrea Adelson. Go ahead, Andrea.
Hi, this question is for Coach Norvell. Mike, we saw your reaction on television when Alabama was placed into the number 4 spot. I was just wondering if you could tell us what was going through your mind in that moment when you put your head down, and then what you said to the team afterwards.
I was just hurt for our players. I mean, to be honest with you, that was it was one of the tougher moments I've had to experience, and just for all that they've done. You talk to a team about responding to adversity, getting up and going to give all that you can to be able to find a way to win a college football game. And like Coach Smart said, it is hard. I mean, it's hard to do. It's hard to especially when you face some of the adversities that we've had here this year, whether it's injury or just different things to overcome. But it's all part of it. And, as we tell our team all the time, your truest identity shows up in times of great adversity, and we faced it, and, they put it on display. So that was really that feeling in the moment. And with all due respect to, I put out a statement about the about the committee and my feelings on that decision. Out of respect for the Orange Bowl and the opportunity we have, I would like to keep any questions, focused on this matchup. Obviously, if there's any other follow up at a different time, I'll be welcome. But let's respect the Orange Bowl and the opportunity that we have here, not so much on the decision of the committee.
Thanks, Andrea. Next, we will go over to Mike Griffith. Mike, go ahead.
Kirby, I think George has won 6 bowl games in a row, going back to that Baylor Sugar Bowl. You kind of changed a direction on players that only players that were playing were going to the bowl games. Your program's shown commitment, even to non-playoff games. Can you talk about that connectedness? And I guess you probably saw Kendall Milton had some strong comments after the game about his commitment to play in this game and not abandoning his brothers.
Yeah, I didn't see his comments actually. Right before I got on here, I've been just swamped this time of year for college football coaches. I don't think people actually acknowledge. I haven't watched one thing outside of the naming of the 4, because it's also close to the portal opening and these teams that played in championship games. Today is like drinking water through a fire hose. So I have not seen anything posted by Kendall, or I did talk to our team, and they are very excited. And I think of all the bowl games we could be in outside the playoffs, this is where our kids would have loved to have been. So that part is good. And I think we got a really high character team, really a bunch of fun guys to coach. The guys that want to play in it, they're going to continue with us. They're going to enjoy that. We'll have guys going to the portal, and guys look for, the future's bright for them, maybe at other places. And that's what the portal's for. So we'll lose out on some guys like everybody in the country will, but the guys that come back, they're going to be a commitment to getting ready, getting better. It's not just about this game. It's about the practices you get to have for this game. And a lot of guys are going to be guys that play for us next year. They're going to have to get, 15 practices or 13 practices that they get ready, almost like an extra spring practice, not to mention the mid-years that come in and get to practice with you too. So this is a tremendous time to develop and get better. And we're going to do all we can to get our team in the best shape they can to be ready to go compete against Florida State.
Thank you. Next, we're going to go over to Dan Tortora. Dan?
Question for both coaches. Coach Smart, first and foremost, like you said, having players that will play and some won't be there. Fran Brown, one of your assistants, has moved on to Syracuse. Would love to get your thoughts on what Syracuse is getting and just what he brought to your program. And Mike, speaking of bringing to your program, just Jordan Travis and the legacy that he leaves with Florida State.
Yeah, I'll go first with Fran. He's an incredible person, human being, beautiful family. Nobody's more upset than my 11-year-old son, who was one of his best friends was Braden, Fran's son. When they first came down, they got to be buddies, and then now they spent really a year, 2 years together. And Fran's just an incredible person. I think anybody that's met Fran knows he impacts people. He has great relationship strengths. He'll be awesome for Syracuse. They're getting a great recruiter, a great leader. And he's going to do a great job. He knows everybody in the Northeast, so better watch out up there because he knows everybody in Philly.
Yeah, to touch on Jordan, just a special man. The example he's been for our football team, the way that he's grown, the work that he's put in, the way that he approaches every day, just whether it's practice, meeting rooms, what he's doing in the classroom. I mean, he really, he approached every day as a champion. And I think that he's been one of the bright lights of college football that you see somebody that was in a challenging, tough moment that has really improved at a drastic level. He's become one of the best players in the country. And he did it the right way. He cares about people, cares about this university, cares about his teammates. And unfortunately he got injured, and that was the end of his playing career. But even through that, I mean, he's been so present in everything that he could be, just to help his teammates, to continue to be, supportive, to the encourager. And I mean, just he's what's right about college athletics, and just so glad to have his example. And he's just a wonderful Seminole.
All right, thank you. Let's go next to Chip Towers.
Yeah, I guess I'll ask Kirby about this. For Kirby, you've become well known for being a great motivator for your teams. Can you just talk about the aspect of getting FSU in this type of situation, a team that's obviously going to feel very slighted. They're obviously good enough to be undefeated. It's almost feels like you guys might be, walking into a kicked hornet's nest or something like that. Can you just talk about the dynamic? And I'm sure as upset as you guys were about how things turned out, there's some empathy here as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, I empathize with anybody that goes undefeated and doesn't get in. I empathize with our players because I personally feel like we deserve to be in. So, I mean, we've got a really good football team, and we're considered number one in the country all year, and then fail. So, we got a hornet's nest around here too of some players that are disappointed too. So that works both ways. The good news is we got each other to go play, and I know they'll be up for us, and we'll be up for them. You worry a lot more when you have a matchup that they might not look us forward to. And I don't know who that would be because it shouldn't be that way, but it is that way. And I've learned that. I also think that it's a time for coaches to grow their team, grow their roster, and grow the depth, and still get to play in a game. But we're going to have kids that didn't play a lot during the year. They're going to have an opportunity that we're getting better at the end of the year. That are going to get a chance to play because of the redshirt rule and things. There was postseason play. So I'm excited about those opportunities. But I know our kids are going to be up for FSU. I know FSU is going to be up for us. So we're going to rely on each other to have that, to be able to go out and play a great game. And look, nobody knows better the forward team. I don't know if this is correct, but I think we've been fifth or sixth or finished fifth or sixth more than anybody. And that's tough. It's tough. I can't imagine it being undefeated, but it's tough when you finish fifth or sixth, one out of it, because there's always a case for being in it. And we've been there, I know, maybe 2 or 3 times.
All right, thanks. We're going to go next to Mark Stallworth. Go ahead, Mark.
All right, good evening, coaches. My name is Mark Stallworth. I'm with the Miami Times newspaper. I have a question for both of you all. Can you just touch on the significance of this being the 90th Orange Bowl, as well as the impact that this may have on recruiting? I know you guys are impactful in the transfer portal, but just high school recruiting and the outcome of this game may have totem poles regarding that.
Well, I mean, I just believe that the Orange Bowl, I mean, it's a special game, and the impact not only of the game and the event, but really of the whole week, and the impact in South Florida to the community. And that's one of the things as you get to experience as you're down there recruiting. You see just what the Orange Bowl does to to the youth sports programs, to helping facilitate opportunities for young kids that you have a dream of becoming college football players, to come to a Florida State, to go to Georgia, to have the open doors of what their future can be. And the Orange Bowl has been just such a staple for opportunity, and to be able to be a part of the 90th game is special. And it does have a great recruiting impact. I mean, a lot of our best players are from South Florida, and it's going to be a chance for them to be able to go home and to be able to play in front of their families, and just to be able to showcase once again the identity of our team, and where we're going, and what we're building here in Tallahassee. So it's going to be a great opportunity for us.
Yeah, I agree with what Mike said. I mean, there's no greater place to recruit than Miami, Florida. Kids love football. The kids down there are different. They come in ready to play. There's no anxiety. They don't fear anyone. So the kids we've had in our program from that area are incredible. So getting to play down there allows us to stretch out our tentacles and have contacts. And there's a lot of good programs in the state of Florida, but we've been very fortunate to have 3 or 4 first rounders come out of that area. So I love when we get a chance to go down there and play.
Thank you. Next, we will go over to Seth Emerson. Go ahead, Seth.
This is for Kirby. Not the last 2 years, but this isn't your first rodeo in the kind of opt-out of bowl era. Have you found that there's any sort of balance between a benefit to playing younger guys and maybe getting a sneak peek towards what your next team is going to be, but also trying to win the game?
Yeah, I think it was the year. I don't know if it was the Texas year. I don't remember what year it was, Seth. But man, we had it was a struggle. It was tough. It was there's a lot of disappointment, I think, and we just took the motto that, hey, you're either in or you're out, man. It's that simple. We're gonna go compete. We're gonna go practice. We're gonna have our practices and get after it after a long, tough, grueling year with a championship week on top of it. But this is what we're gonna do, and we're gonna practice this many times, and you're gonna buy into it or you're not. And that's how the teams win. It's how you win is be committed to the cause and be all in on it. And if you're wondering or trying to decide, then you probably don't need to. That forces you to play some younger kids, especially with the timing of the portal now. I mean, this thing is people really don't understand what's going on in college football right now. So with the timing of that and the ramp up of number of kids entering in general, you can't even play the game without playing some new faces. So I don't even know what that looks like right now for us, but I'm sure there'll be some guys take on some roles that they're moving towards next year.
Thanks, Coach. All right, we got time for just a few more. I want to be respectful to both these coaches' times. Let's go over to Connor Riley. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, this is for both coaches. With how close you guys got to this year to getting into the playoff, and obviously both feeling like you were deserving participants, does that make you look forward next year to a 12-team playoff more, and maybe even wish that you had a 12-team playoff this year to participate in?
Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, I think that being able to have an opportunity to compete for a national championship when you have a year that like we and we had and that Georgia had. I mean, it is disappointing. You look at this Georgia team, and I'm gonna say it for Coach Smart, you go undefeated throughout the regular season, you lose in a conference championship game by one score, and that be that be the end of your opportunity to win a national championship. It's hard, for us, we go undefeated throughout the season and, accomplish, the things that we did. It's, you try to teach players, about response. You try to teach players about consistency, the things that you want to see them grow and build in. And, knowing that next year it will be an expanded opportunity when teams compete at this level that both of our programs have been able to accomplish this year. There will still be that avenue, but it is what it is this year. Obviously, we can have our disappointments, but like I said, respect the opportunity that we have, and of all the games that are out there in this bowl season, there's not one that will be more exciting or probably more anticipated than having these two teams, because like I said, this is it's a special group and a lot of great players on both sides, and I think coaching staffs that respect each other and how they go about their business. So it's going to be a fun one for our players to compete in. Obviously, the venue and this bowl game is special, and but absolutely that next year with 12, I mean, it's going to open those doors for the best team to really be able to prove itself out there on the field when they put themselves in this situation.
Yeah, Connor, I don't want to be long-winded because I could talk for a long time, but football is a very unique sport, and it's unlike other sports, and it's hard to say, because I've always wanted to say, the 64 tournament basketball team, the baseball team, the soccer team, all these sports I follow in college sports, and I love college sports. They're pure people. I go watch college athletics all over the country. I love watching it. They can go have these big pools and big tournaments to determine who the national champion is, and it just seems fair and nobody's upset with it. And college football hasn't really been able to get that done because it's much harder in a sport where you play. The game is so physical and it's once a week, and you can't have a 64 team playoff at the end of a regular season. So the model becomes, what is the appropriate model and where is the number? And they've landed now on 12. There will be a debate over who's 13, 14. There'll always be that debate. I certainly don't think it will be an undefeated team that gets left out of that. It may be from a non-power 5, but when you look at it and you say the playoff model that the NFL's put in place, it's earned on the field. They have a lot more parity than we do. There's a lot. I mean, there's 8 and 8 teams making the playoffs, and their schedule gets set for them from a league. And the schedule's set that way, so there's a little more balance when it comes to it. But if you look at the bigger picture, until it's regulated by some supreme body, it's probably not going to be balanced. It's going to be led by conferences that are merging together in different forms, and you're never going to be able to have a long tournament because people can't play these number of games that long. So we'll find out how the 12 works. Certainly would have been good for Georgia the last 4 to 5 years because we'd been in the hunt. We would have had a shot just like FSU this year. So we'll see where it goes in the future.
All right, we got time for one more question. Allison, go ahead, Allison.
Hey, Allison Mastrangelo, WSB in Atlanta. Kirby, this one's for you. I didn't know how many guys are you expecting maybe to not play in this game, and when do you have that conversation with the guys about when they'll play and when they will not play?
Allison, it's probably going to happen throughout the week. They need some time to decompress. I mean, I'm not expecting anyone to not play, to be honest with you. But when that conversation comes, we'll have those conversations with them. We'll talk to them. I know we'll have some enter the portal. Those conversations have been happening for several weeks now, leading up to this time. So we'll have guys enter the portal and opt to not play in the game, but. I'll be honest with you, I'm really not stressing or worried about it right now. We've got a week to kind of get ourselves together, and our guys will take some time off, take a little break they need, and get back and get to working out and getting to throwing and getting some practice time. But it's not a major concern for me right now because I know that we have a good core of our team that's going to be there and want to play. I just don't have specifics though.